10-race programme then at Sha Tin on Sunday. The feature race being the Chinese Recreation Club Challenge Cup comes up at race number 8 on the card. It's a mixed programme as well, with 2 races on the all-weather as well, which come up early on the programme. Looking forward to the card. I'm Andrew Jern, joined by our form analyst Paul Alley and race caller Tom Wood as well. Tom, what are we looking out for on the weekend?
Well, Drops of God in the main race, the trophy race. He looks to be tough to beat there. He's had 4 starts for 2 wins and a couple of minor placings. He's gone from a rating of 52 up to 75. He'll be tough to beat, I feel. And then in the last race, just 11 going around with Charity Fun coming out, but a few nice horses there on the up, including CP Brave and Super Football.
Yeah, a few jackpots to have a look at, Paul?
There's 3 actually, 3 really good jackpots to look at here. We've got 2.3 million in the triple trio. That should get up to about 6 million. 800,000 going into the second double trio, and 2.5 million going out to the 6-up win pool as well. So 3 really good jackpots to get your teeth into.
All right, we're going to be focusing on 2 races here on the show, races 8 and 10. Not forgetting, of course, as always, you can find the full rundown of each of the 10 races on the website under the audio video section. This is meet number 5. We're up to already on the C course as far as the turf is concerned. Those 2 all-weather races come up as 1 and 3. We're going to focus, though, on the feature, race number 8, the Chinese Recreation Club Challenge Cup, Class 3 over the 1200, and the Woodpecker Handicap, 1600 metre Class 2 to finish off the programme. Now, as far as our first event is concerned, or race number 8, first one we're looking at, Equaletta Blitz will head the field for Douglas White. Now with the White stable, Jerry Chow taking weight off his back as he should roll forward, as will Drops of God from barrier number 11. Odds on for all 4 starts last season. Baby takes the drop in class for Jimmy Ting and Wagner Borges. We've got Star of Yunlong, Ellie Gare, California Sybil, more on that name later on as he makes his Hong Kong debut. Co-Partner Ambition, Jade Phoenix up in class, and Star of Glory for Michael Chang and Dylan Moe. Now, as far as the speed map is concerned here, Tom, it's a wide gate for Drops of God out in barrier number 11, but I assume he's going to try and find the front.
Well, he should have enough speed to do so. We've seen that in the past from him. This is the worst gate he's had so far. He's had gate number 10 and he's been able to get, not quite leading, but been able to get near the pace somewhere. Jade Phoenix and Equaletta Blitz should be handy as well, and then you've got Star of Yunlong sort of just off the pace. He looks a little tricky for Baby and the Hulk, but you'd imagine here, Paul, the favourite, or the favourite expected anyway, Drops of God to lead.
Yeah, I think Equaletta Blitz might try and give him a little bit to do with the apprentice Jerry Chow aboard, but I think he'll eventually get across. As you mentioned, Jade Phoenix, look, he's got a good fresh record. He's been placed a couple of times. Baby prefer at Happy Valley anyway, so I think he's gonna find it tough from out there.
Co-partner Ambition likely to get back, but from a similar sort of position last start, he ran on exceptionally well.
OK, before we get into the race in a bit more detail, let's get out to Mark, who's picked out one of the key runners for us.
Thanks, Andrew. One horse with a big reputation last season was Drops of God out of the John Size stable. He had the 4 starts, he won 2, and he placed 3rd a couple of times as well. Interesting stat, he's unbeaten when he leads in his races. To find out what he's done during his break, we caught up with Joe Moreira at Trackwork.
I think after a break, some horse did drop form a little bit, but even if he did drop form, quickly he started to pick up. He had 2 barrier trials, both of them he gave me good feel. We were not testing him at this stage because obviously it's still hot weather and we want to make sure that he lasts as long as possible throughout of the season. And what he has done so far, it's quite promising. I mean, he may not be at his very best at the moment, but he might be good enough to be going back to the races and win again.
Barrier number 11 for Drops of God to overcome this week. And just an interesting little side note on Drops of God. First starter in the race, California Sybil, has looked very good at the trials as well for Tony Cruz. Joe had been riding him in the trials. He's gone for Drops of God on race day. So there's an interesting little side story to this race also.
There certainly is a side story with the horse's name as well, California Sybil. But we'll come to him in a minute when we look at his trials. As far as this horse is concerned, Tom, Drops of God, he looked very impressive when winning last season.
He did, and when he was able to win last season from the front, he did it quite easily. He's gone round at 1.8 on 3 occasions, 1.5 as well, and from gate number 11 he should find the front, and so far Paul is very progressive.
He has, hasn't he? Look, I think they might make him work a little bit to get to the front, but look, he's won fresh in the past, and look, he's a very progressive horse with rating points in hand.
Yeah, so he won fresh up, then was beaten twice, but was very dominant here, Paul, on his final start from the front.
Yeah, exactly. And once he gets to the front, he's a tough horse to get past. I think that's probably the key for him, because when he's led, he's won, and you can see him absolutely running away from this field. So look, the off-season's been good to him, I think, what I've seen, and there's no reason why he can't win again.
Yeah, he just was too good here on this occasion. Look, the horses he's beaten both ran well this season so far. I'm a Single Man, also Lockheed. So the form has stacked up okay there in terms of those horses, but he should be winning this.
Here's the Hulk then back at the trials. First up for the season, fair to assume Tom from Barrier 10 will be looking for some cover in the early stages.
Yeah, I thought last time out he was a little bit one-paced in his assignment. That was from barrier number 2. That was at the end of the season. But prior to that, he'd won a couple in a row. One was over 1,200 metres, beating home All in Minor. This trial wasn't too bad. He's stuck on evenly enough here over the final stages. So I put him in on a minor line from the draw.
Yeah, didn't quite get him in. Just with that draw, put me off a little bit with him. He has been placed fresh up in the past, though, the Hulk. So there is that in his favour, and the trial was okay.
OK, what about Namjong Singh's? He's spent some time at Chung Fa. Paul, how's he looked?
Yeah, look, he's looked okay, but he's another horse whose fresh-up record isn't that good. He's had 4 goes fresh and hasn't really done too much to date. I think he's picked quite a nice race here to kick off as well, so he's happy to watch, but the stable's going well.
Yeah, it certainly is. Danny Shumi's had 4 winners. Alexi's had a couple. He raced wide last time out. You can see him here over Lockheed, who's since come out and run well. He's being passed here by Lockheed. He stayed on evenly enough there as well. The horse that ran 4th in that trial was Far. Of course, he won in good enough style during the week, but he wasn't one I got in Namjong Singh's.
All right, Hong Kong debutantes. Now, this horse, California Sybil, they called it in Australia. His name, though, Cible in French means target, is what they've called his Chinese name, California Target, but you spoke to the owners, Tom, they're happy with Sybil. Yes,
they are happy with Sybil, so I guess they're the one that are paying the bills, so that's what they want. And look, he's finished off okay in this trial. He's come from the Snowdens in New South Wales. He won at Kembla and Gosford. He's a half-2 with Charmed Harmony, who was a Group 2 place getter and a Group 3 winner in place getter. So there is some pedigree there for him, and I didn't mind the trial.
I quite liked him. I found a spot for him, actually. He's 12.33 pounds, so he's a nice big strong horse as well. And those 2 wins are pretty good in Australia. I had a look at those. He's had 3 trials to get him ready.
All right, Jade Phoenix. I thought this trial looked quite good as well, Paul.
Yeah, I've definitely found a spot for him now. He's been placed a couple of times fresh in the past, this horse. He comes in with a lightweight, informed Karis Teaton aboard from barrier 3. Look, if something goes wrong with Drops of God at the start, he could easily lead, but I'm sure he'll be happy to let Drops of God, Equalator Blitz come across, and he'll get the nice trial.
9 starts last season, only 1 run out of the top 4, so he was very honest. Interesting, he stripped 28 pounds off him this time round, his Frankie Law at Jade Phoenix. Nothing wrong with that trial there, but didn't quite get him in.
All right, the favourite want to beat though, Paul?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Look, I've got the favourite on top here, Drops of God. It was a very dominant win at the back end of last season. Looks a progressive horse. In for second here, I've got co-partner Ambition. I think this horse is quite progressive. Another one comes in with a light weight, and if they do overcook it in front, he can hit the line strongly. Jade Phoenix in the trail, and the new horse, California Sybil, I put him in there for 4th. 3, 9, 10 and 8.
I think Drops of God will be particularly tough to beat for John Size and Joe Moreira, but I do like co-partner Ambition in the race. Now, he was pushed out in his trial. He was last on the home turn last start, got hampered at the 350, but closed off pretty well late down the outside, co-partner Ambition. California Sybil makes it in, and the Hulk there on a minor line. So 3, 9, 8 and 2.
Yeah, the favourite's the one to beat. The concern would be if they try and kick up, and they should try and make it difficult for Joe to get across, but if he does, could be game over there with Drops of God in the Chinese Recreation Club Challenge Cup Part 2. We're having a look at the final race on the programme, race number 10, and all the best bets. That's still to come. Final race on the programme then at Sha Tin. Race number 10 is a Class 2 contest. It's over the 1,600 metres. Good field lining up here. Unfortunately, Charity Fun won't be coming round. He's pulled up lame. Danny Shum, Harry Bentley, so he is out. Leaves us now a field of 11 to go to post. So now headed by The Rock, Casper Fownes and Alexi Bedell. Fownes with a couple of runners in the race. Super Football returns here for Jimmy Ting and Zach Burton. Drawn wide though, Flying Quest. His wins at Happy Valley over the 1650, but his only win here at Sha Tin's been over the 2,000 metres. Beauty Fit returns here for John Size and Wagner Borges. Charity Go as well. Was a course and distance winner last season. We have Helene Wisdom Star, who won on his final meeting. In actual fact, at Happy Valley last compound. Zabrowski, who was good first up over the 14, gets the 1,600 now. CP Brave up in class, as is Celestial Power. Frankie Law and Matthew Poon combine with him. Now, as far as the speed map is concerned for this one, we're obviously to the last, the Woodpecker handicap. Good to slow, we're predicting in the early stages. Tom, what do you think?
It might not be a lot of genuine pace in this race. The Rock will try and get to the front and dictate like we've seen him do in the past with Alexi Bedell riding. He's a horse that goes well second up and has a useful course and distance record. Highland Fortune, he might be a little handier this time round than what he has been in certainly his last run anyway. He battled on just fairly last time out. In this race, Paul, as well, you've got the likes of Charity Go. He should end up with the trail. What about horses like Super Football? It looks a little awkward for Zach there.
Yeah, I just wonder if he'll go back or he'll try and be a little bit positive and get outside. The horse has run well from the back before. Helene Wisdom Star, another one drawn 12, so he'll need a bit of luck to get him where he is, where we've got him in there. It's going to be a test for him. Flying Quest gets back as well, so if he decides to go back Flying Quest, then maybe Super Football can slot in there. Beauty Fit and Celestial Power towards the back.
Yeah, and on Flying Quest, he ran fourth in this race last year, so traditionally he has gone okay in the past.
All right, well, we'll start off here before we have a look at a couple of the key races with Casper Founds. He's got two runners in the race in the Rock and Zabrowski, and again, we caught up with him at track work.
Cass 2 in the last. We start with the Rock. Must have been pleasing the way he found the line first up.
Yeah, he ran really nice. He's a horse, even his last start last season was really good, you know. It was to still hold on for third, I felt was a race that the horse could probably end up into triple figures this season off that performance, you know. And then he backed that up nicely with a nice fourth, first up over 1400. And obviously now to the mile, drawn 8. He's gone up a bit in weight, he's carrying a bit of weight. So that's the only thing that might anchor him a little bit, but he certainly seems to be in fine form.
With the extra 200 metres of the race this week, he's got that early speed. Are we likely to see it?
Look, he's versatile, so we'll just see how the track's playing. We're in the last race, and we'll work it out. If we need to use our speed and go forward, we'll do that. If we want to ride him a bit conservative, we can do that as well.
Also have Zabrowski, who debuted a few weeks ago. He's run a lot better than his 100-to-1 price.
Yeah, again, you know, he's on a rating of 82. Ran quite nice, only beaten 4 lengths. Obviously, the step up and trip looks a positive, but he's been, you know, sort of, it's when they run well first up, second up, sometimes they can run a little bit below par. But he's pleased me in the morning. He certainly looks well, and you know, hopefully be a horse that probably go from a mile to 2,000.
And he's got a lovely draw to work with as well.
Yeah, draw 2, so and no weight on his back. Same boy rides, you know. So again, he should make his own luck, and hopefully he'll give us a big run.
He was an obvious eye catcher, wasn't he, Paul? Zabrowski first up, but as Cassie said, sometimes they don't always deliver second time.
Yeah, that's the query. But as he said, though, the step up from 14 to 16 is a big positive for him. Here's a horse who has won fresh in the past in Australia as well, so he does go quite well fresh.
Yeah, whether you subscribe to the second up syndrome or not, and from gate number 2 he should get an economical run round. So as long as he's pulled up okay out of that and can do something second up, which I think he can, he's certainly in the top 4.
All right, well, let's have a look at a few of the others in action or warming up for Sunday's assignments. And at the trials here, we've got Super Football just taking things easy towards the back there, and the other one, Tom, to keep an eye on is Beauty Fit. What are your thoughts here?
Like the trial of Super Football, so he's back in the pack here and he's basically stayed there throughout, but there was no pressure put on him at all from Zach Purton in this trial. I thought from Super Football, last start he won over Flying Quest, but held together in this recent trial. Beauty Fit had to be worked on a little bit, so I've left him out here. He's dropped 27 pounds, Paul. Yeah,
I left him out as well, and Super Football did win fresh up in the past as well, so he's another one with a good fresh record, so he goes in for me, Super Football.
All right, next up we can have a look at Helene Wisdom Star, who's a 2-time winner at Happy Valley. Would that be the question mark coming into this one, Paul?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I quite liked him at Happy Valley last time, and he did win nicely, and that was right at the back end of the season. Actually, it was the last meeting at Happy Valley. Look, he's trialled nice enough here, but to me, I still like to see him back at Happy Valley, especially with the wide draw he's got.
Yeah, so he's in this contest. Wonder where they sort of end up with him. That he went forward last time out, won a good 3-way battle there. He had to fend off Telecom Fighters and one other over the final stage. Just pushed along a little bit over the final stages of that trial was Helene Wisdom Star. I didn't get him in just with his Sha Tin record at the moment, but we'll see what he can do this time round.
All right, CP Brave, Tom, he showed something in all 3 of his starts last season. Hasn't quite broken through, but the first win surely not too far away.
No, not on those last 3 runs anyway. Fifth first up behind Fantastic Treasure. He was slow out on that occasion, raced a long way back, and he's been sort of midfield in his last couple of runs, and he was only beaten half a length by Beauty Fit last time out. I thought it was a really good run from him. And look, Joe was on board, not in this trial, it was Dylan Moe. Joe was on board in a trial where he ran second, but look, he's picked them up here pretty easily.
Yeah, he's going really well at the moment. He's an Irish bred horse. He's sort of basically acclimatised last season, had those 3 runs, and now I think he's just about ready to win. From barrier 1 with Joe on, he looks good.
All right, final one we can have a look at, Paul, is Celestial Power up here at Chung Fai. Just having a quiet time of things out the back. Note the horse in the towards the front there in the yellow, green and red. That's Harmony and Rich, who broke the track record at Happy Valley on Wednesday night.
Yeah, in the last race it was a good run from him. Look, Celestial Power, he's a horse that I've managed to put in. They did get him out to 2,000 metres, Celestial Power. He comes in with a light weight. He's almost on the verge of a class drop at an 81 rating, but he's running well at the moment. So look, I've put him on a very minor line.
Yeah, you can see him sneaking through here in this trial. He's not had too much pressure put on him from the riding boy on this occasion. He's just attacked the line nicely there over the final stages. Last time out, he snuck along the fence and was not too far away from Telecom Fighters, only beaten a link. So he's had that one trial. He's dropped 14 pounds coming into this. And Matthew Poon's got a good association with the horse. He's had 4 rides on him for 2 wins.
Yeah, when I say he broke the record at Happy Valley, there's obviously more than one record at Happy Valley. It was the 1,200 metre record that he broke there, knocking off Victory. So it was some sort of performance. CP Brave, favourite, do you think he can break through now, Paul?
I think he can. Look, I quite like this horse, CP Brave. There's 3 runs last season were all very good, and he's going really well at the moment. The track work's been good. He's had those 2 trials. So there's lots of positives there for CP Brave. So I'll get him on top now. Zabrowski, I'm going to put him in there for second because he did catch the eye. It was a quick sectional that he finished off with over the 1,400 metres on debut in Hong Kong. He's a son of Savabeel, so the step up to 16,000. He did run in the Australian Derby as well when he ran second over a lot longer, so that was up to 2,400 metres. So he's eventually going to get up there. But look, second up over 1,600. I expect some improvement again from barrier number 2. And good to see Keith Young keep the ride as well. Super Football in there for third. Now, he's won fresh up in the past. He's drawn awkwardly 11, but Zach will sum it up pretty quickly, I think, and try and get himself into a nice position. And then Celestial Power. Now, this horse comes in with no weight whatsoever. He's got barrier number 6, so he should get himself into a nice position. And if he doesn't win this race and he does go down into a grade Class 3, I think he's a very good bet down there. But I still think he'll run well here at the bottom of Class 2. So end up 11, 10, 3 and 12.
11, 3, 2 and 10 I've gone with here. I think CP Brave can go close in this race. He's another horse here that looks to get his first win on the board, and he ran really well last season, all 3 of those runs behind Fantastic Treasure, Telecom Fighters and Beauty Fit, and both of his trials coming into this have been pretty good. CP Brave. Super Football, we saw him in that trial a moment ago, really quiet at the back there, not tested at all. He won at the back end of the season, beating home Flying Quest, who ran well in this race last year, did Flying Quest. So Super Football makes it in. The Rock will be trying to make all, I think, from the front. Alexi Bedell and Casper Founds. He won at this meeting last year. That was down in Class 3 over 1,400 metres. He's certainly gone on with it since then. And Zabrowski makes it in. He certainly caught the eye first up from where he came from back in the field. And he actually wouldn't settle overly well last time out, Zabrowski, over the 1,400 metres. Wanted to get the hit up and reef and pull. So hopefully he settled better this time round. 11, 3, 2 and 10.
Yeah, CP Brave for me as well. Him and the Rock, that's my cue there in the final events. Right, we have 10 races on the programme then. Paul, give us the highlights then. Who are the winners?
Well, I think Paul O'Sullivan will have a good afternoon. Now, there's 2 horses of his I quite like, Ferry Floss and El Valiente, earlier in the card. Glenealy Generals, look, he's coming in. He should go pretty well. He's already had a run this season. Was a little bit unlucky. He's up against a talented newcomer there as well, Master Aqua. But I still think Glenealy Generals will run pretty well. Free Fall from the front as well was another one. Swift Spirit, I don't mind Swift Spirit. Swift Spirit, he should be about 5 or 6 to 1. And its trial was really good leading into this as well. And Soulmate, another one with a light weight, I think can run a pretty good race. Charity Grace coming back from injury as well, Andrew.
All right, the audio-video section of the website as well, you'll find the full preview of each and every one of those races. Also, while you're there, have a look at Hong Kong Direct. Good interview with Zach. Well, I say good interview. Zach was good in an interview. I did the interview. Zach was interview with him with Mark McNamara hosting this week, so it's definitely worth having a look at. Best out of that lot, Paul?
I'm going to go with the Swift Spirit as the best here. Now he's going to be ridden by Ruin Meyer. He's got a good draw, barrier number 2. Look, he's got no form, as you can see, the 10 starts, but that one, when he ran 4th, was at his last start at the back end of last season. He's come out and trialled really well. He's only a young horse. He's by Fastnet Rock. He's the best. And the long shot, Courageous Knight, currently at about 12 to 1 chance. Only had the one start, ran 3rd, and a really strong form race behind Drops of God. I think he can come out and run a bit of a race in race number 4. And we'll make the play in that race. My Ecstatic would likely start pretty short with Courageous Knight. And King of the Court, a first starter here in Hong Kong. So QQP race 4, 1, 2, 4.
My best comes up in race number 9. It is Hall of Champ to atone this time round for Blake Shin, who's got a good association with the horse for Casper Founds. Carries the 132 pounds to Hall of Champ in the 9th race, saddlecloth number 2. The value in race 6, Emerald Spur, horse that's won first up and course and distance. A little bit of a tricky draw, but has trialled well enough coming into this for Ricky Yu, looking for his first win of the season in the play in the last of the Rock. Super Football and CP Brave, the obvious 3.
I'll go in the feature race, then race number 8. He'll be favourite, but I think he wins when he gets across from barrier number 11. So Drops of God in the Chinese Recreation Club Challenge Cup. And as far as an each-way selection, well, Chevalier Prince against Leap of Faith, who might come up pretty short. So we'll go Chevalier Prince, Matthew Poon on board for Frankie Law there in race number 7. As far as the play is concerned, we go 1-3 around Drops of God in the QQP there in the feature race. All right. That just about wraps things up. We get ever closer, though, guys, to the first feature race of the season. The Celebration Cup comes up. We'll see the likes of Sky Darcy, I think, coming back as well, Tom, and Russian Emperor as well.
Yeah, we saw them trial on Tuesday morning at Sha Tin. They looked in good order there, so that's the first of the feature races. Then we've also got the National Day Cup coming up on Friday the 1st.
Yeah, looking forward to those races. Good to see those horses that performed well last season. It's hopefully they can bring it into this season.
Yeah, well, Drops of God being one of those. We'll see him in the feature race this weekend. All right, that's just about all we've got time for. So hopefully we'll see you at Sha Tin on Sunday for our 10 race programme. We will be racing to win.